Welcome everyone to BECKONED Development Weekly Stream episode 78. How's everybody doing today? Dwight, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just trying to get more stuff figured out here.
Such as what? Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Dwight really kind of sucks at those openings, you know? So
Whatever. No, man, I'm trying to figure out how to use a hammer.
A hammer. You're working on a computer. What do you mean?
Or the wrench, whatever. You know what I meant.
Hey guys, how you all doing? So, who we got in today? Collision Bottom. Happy Friday. Yeah. And TM, bang-a-ring, buddy. Heck yeah, McGee and me. Yeah, that's what that is, man. Bud Watson, what's up, buddy? And then Reese, hello. The coin. Oh, you got your coin today. Cool. Hey, post it up in the Discord. You know, throw it up on some social medias.
Heck, I ain't even got mine yet.
His is coming. So yeah, actually, a lot of you guys who have already responded to us should be getting your coins. Dwight's getting his on Monday, so we should be seeing some of those. I know Collision Mom's got hers. But yeah, anyways, yeah, guys, welcome over. It is going to be a very interesting, different kind of show today.
Hey, it is Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What, did I say something different?
No, I'm just, trying to pinch myself, make sure it's still Friday.
Yeah, Dwight works those arduous day jobs, so sorry if he has a little bit of jet lag from that. But yeah, so, guys, last weekend, what we were working on was that character, the gestures, the layout, the drawing the character in a 3-point perspective. So this is where that's come so far. So I did the perspective, of course, and then I went in and started doing the character design on top of that, along with these emotional breakdowns, so we can kind of get the range of emotion of Bayorn. This is for me, as so a lot of you comic creators understand this is a tool, so I won't have to, so I can keep things consistent throughout. But yeah, thought that would be neat. Joe's already kind of told me a few things to, he told me one thing to adjust, to be honest, and that was the under chin here. It was too small. He said it looked weird. So he was just picking on me. But yeah, so guys, we've got a section of the map. So who do we got over here? Oh, Dwight jumped out and came back in.
How are you?
What happened to you?
So,
guys, if y'all are familiar with their map, Beckoned, our game story, happens between the towns of Burketh and Tulabania. So let me throw that up here. So Burketh here and Tulabania here, and then after Tulabania, they fly across the continent to the final dungeon, if you would. So we're working with the continent of Arlea mainly. So when it came to the comic book, though, I found that the map was so much more detailed that, remember, I've talked about this before, but when my dad took me elk hunting in Colorado, learning how to read topographical maps and visualize that based off of viewing it from a top down was a lot of the process that Kenton and I used to get this map where it is. Mostly it was Kenton. I was trying to get him on tonight because this is going to be a little fun exercise. So if you see all these little dots in the road, basically marking paths between points on the map. And I didn't do that up here. I've done that for the main character, for the main story plot, but I don't mention other towns that are in between here, other paths. So when it came to doing the new comic series, I was thinking I could take this chunk of the map. So that is this little part here, this little chunk, and just go nuts with it. Go, okay, I can do this with it. I can do that with it. Am I going to say we're going to go to every place here? No. But the big exercise that I wanted to try today was I'm going to make a camera icon that shows us a cone of vision, including how far we can see. And we're going to find a cool place on this map area to plot this camera point. From there, I'll do a concept art piece based out of what we should see being standing there on the map. The idea is I could build a library of these illustrations as well as in the notebooks, because this is a big stack I've been working with this weekend. It's got all of our notes for a lot of the story and a lot of the breakdown, even stuff that's like 15 years old. But you can see a lot of I've got our mechanic breakdown just to keep the rules intact. I got our game system, then the actual breakdown of the story of Beckon. See how it says right there, game narrative outline? That's the whole narrative and breakdown. So been kind of taking all of that and getting this idea that if I can create a collection of journal entries between any 2 point on the map, I could get an idea of the terrain and be able to write stories that are realistically laid out to the map. That's only one layer. The next layer is finding the political dichotomy and why these territories are argued about, and that comes through in the story. So the more I can just kind of write down, record, get everything organized, the easier it's going to be to write some really interesting stuff. So my first book, just getting back to the comic though, the comic book is still, I know exactly what I'm doing, except for that one part where I've said that Zostercom and Beorn, or Zostercom has this job for Beorn and is interested if he's, willing to take it. Because those of you who are aware of the prologue, which if you want to, well, that's a good time to do this. Banner. Boo. If you want to, that cool video game footage at the beginning of this episode, that's actually on Steam. That's a game Dwight programmed, and I did the animation and everything. So if you saw the beginning of that, or the prologue of that game, you would understand that this guy Beorn, has got a little bit of baggage. By the time this book is planned to kind of come out and finish out, the book will tell that prologue in its ending. So where do I go from there? And what's this big adventure of Zostercom and Beorn? This is the continent we're going to be using to do that. So there's a big giant mountain peak. There are lakes scattered, across the eastern side. It's obviously a big port area because we've got some sort of peninsula out here with Sindevana. So there would be a lot of little fishing outposts along the coast as well, but Desmond's Passing is where they're planning to meet each other. So that's the idea. What do you think, Dwight?
I'm just trying to let you talk because you've got all of this stuff in your head.
Yep. So I also have this little 40-mile marker here, right? So anywhere that we grab this, anywhere we can grab this, if we're interested in any spot, we can lay that down and basically guess, okay, from this point to over here is 40 miles.
Gotcha.
And then you can break that down into 20-mile chunks. I'm sorry, into 20-mile chunks, which is the larger square here. These are 10. So the smallers are 10. So you can kind of get a good idea of the distance just based off of the marker. I may need to adjust this marker because if you look at the size of that, 40 miles, if that was Earth scale, the planet's rather small. Working with what you got, I can scale that down. I can change it, but to be honest with you,
it doesn't have to be the same size.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, as far as planets go.
Oh, no. Right. But, I mean, I don't want a planet that you can do that a smart kid who wants to, break my back over it would do the math and go, okay, well, over so many years, how many people just in the cast that you've got, this planet is going to be overpopulated in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I want to
Right.
but that's me going too far. So you look at areas or game series like Elder Scrolls, each of their games section out a portion of their large world map. I think Daggerfall allowed you to explore every area, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm also kind of going forward with this is my new Skyrim area, and I'm going to go through here and just chunk it up with as much content as I can. Now, am I planning to write a book series that's going to include all of it? No, but it'd be nice to have the options. But the coolest thing was the idea for me to write a journal, just like Bayorn would, of any 2 points on the map. So for example, the ones that we got already, Talbathas, Rockwoods, and Beckett, what would that journey be like? And it doesn't take very long to write those lines out, and kind of think about, what plants, animals would they see? This could even be regional as well.
Hey, how are you?
All right. This would also be regional as well. So you wouldn't have to do that between every 2 point. You could actually kind of chunk out a region and go, if you're traveling between 2 points in this region, then, you're more likely going to run into this, run into that. So it's just detail I can use from any time in the future where I start to bust down more content. I'm actually using the terrain realistically. Even because the end of the series, I have a war, a battle that's going to be happening with Sindevina and hold on, Ceribus, I think is what Cyabus. Sorry.
So you just leaving that open to where if we do create more stops, you've got the larger icon. Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, this area here, Sindevina, this will be a kingdom about as imposing or big as Tulabania. If not, I mean, it's just a different kingdom on the opposite side of the island. Tulabania is up here in this little inlet. So our tree kingdom is there. So this is about as far south as you can get outside of these inlets here. So where was I going with it? You might have to talk to the people real quick. Bubba's been a little sick and he's pawing at the door, so talk to him real quick.
All right, so they're gonna have to run. So Jeremy called me the other day. We were chatting and talking, and he had all this map and backstories started to put together, had everything laid out on his desk. So he's been kind of just going full mind melt trying to get this world thing going and trying to just think of everything else that might be there so that he can get some extra story going to the point where when we get to these pieces of the world, he's already got some items figured out as far as, local culture, who the, how the people interact, what kind of area, environment they have, that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be cool.
Well, thank you, buddy. I got to figure out something that's going to be eyeball catching enough for us to check out.
Right now, it looks like a bunch of chicken pox.
Yeah, I didn't want to draw a bunch of lines, and that's why they're also kind of faded out, so I didn't lose the terrain underneath the paths. That allows my imagination just to follow the dots along the terrain and go, all right. I'll go with that because it's pretty bright throughout. So what I'm doing now, guys, is just like on radar systems or anything, that represents us. Oh, I gotta change my marker. Spacing, yeah. Okay. Nope, that didn't work. Sensitivities, yeah. Not bad. Now, when I was hunting in Colorado, and you're up on the mountains, your vision can see very far. From Red Elephant in Colorado, Dad and I were able to see Yellowstone National Park's peak from Colorado.
Well, yeah, I could see that because, gosh, we were able to see Shasta, I think, which was super far away, man. I wouldn't have thought so.
Right.
But it was just so tall.
Right. So when I put this tool down, I'm wanting us to be in the general area of that, and our cone of view before curvature, probably the curvature of the earth, because we're not flat earthers here, would roll over.
Well, this one could be.
No, we're not doing
Yeah,
no.
It could be.
Yeah, it could. You're right, but it ain't. It ain't gonna.
But what if it was?
Then a lot of the lore wouldn't work. So let's think about that. I've thought about concentric shell worlds. Yeah. I thought about hollow earth world. I thought of all kinds of stuff. No, even the crystal core on my thing is not entirely true. It is true, but not entirely.
Is it like green jello core?
No, it's still got a loading core. It's just how do you get a magnetic field with something that without an iron core like our planet is theorized to deal with?
Green jello, that would do it.
Jello's magnetic for some. It's sticky. I get you there, but not magnetic.
Well, I mean, have you tried
this guy works in energy, so if that makes you feel any better, that's what our power grid problem is. He's sticking Jello in it.
Hey, you got to experiment.
All right, so guys, basically where I'm trying to get. Here's the experiment. Now I got this little handy dandy tool. The idea is I want to make this kind of a long-term exercise that we do together. Is pick any 2 points or pick an area that would look interesting based off of, the top view. So the mountain peak is nice. So if I'm coming here, because I want to see that nice flat prairie, if you would, but that could be forest as well. I've been kind of envisioning a lot of these areas, these darker purple areas. They read like rocks, just like the rough terrain up around here. Green, if you're flying in a plane and you look down, most of the time you're seeing, in the United States, you see a bunch of tree-covered hills. So maybe that's what's happening a lot here with the greenery. I'm not really expecting us to see too many just blank fields out there. So we could be in a forest, we could be in a plain. That much area, like I said, that's 40 miles based off my marker. That's a long way for, no forest or no tree or no anything. So, but there is a river, but
out in the ocean, you can see 12 miles.
Okay, 12 miles. All right. So 14. Okay, we need to bring this down a bit.
So, if you're when we were out on the ship,
that's a good estimate.
It was about 12 miles to the horizon.
Okay, so yeah. So if I wanted to create a cool picture based off of any of this. I would want to like do something where I see the mountain, off in the side of the composition somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they have something interesting here, but this isn't very interesting unless I'm just doing a basic plain with a tree ridge before, the snowy capped or, white cap mountain peak. I've got this inlet here, or I guess not inlet, but like rock formations where it's building up. So that could give me some sort of middle ground stuff going on. I can use this as this river here to kind of mark a ridge line.
So what are you doing right now? Just trying to get a backdrop or?
Yeah, trying to find a cool area on this map to do a piece of concept art with. So over here in Devanis, as you can see, like there's little details that kind of hint that there might be ancient architecture buried underneath.
Okay.
So if you ever saw Lord of the Rings, in the second or third movie, Minas Tirith was this big towering, castle-like thing. But it was built in the side of the mountain. I'm kind of seeing the same thing in the formations here. There's a large field. This is a great place for a battle, as you can see.
Yeah, it would be.
The mountains are up there. They narrow your enemy down. And I mean, you're protected from the sea because you're basically built on the opposite side of the ridge. So you can't really be, and then to be able to attack you from that, the forces would have to come in on the sides. So you're basically cornered. It's not a great place, but the funnel that you get out here could help a lot. The peak and all that. So even that would be a really cool shot, is to come back over here, pull back, and what we see is the field, the mountain ranges, maybe a little hint of whatever, of what Devanis may look like. Just trying to get some ideas here. Or we can make it simple. We just come back up over here and be like, hey, what's it look like from here? Yeah. And we would see the mountain in the foreground, just probably more trees, a little bit of rock formation. So that's the idea, guys, is I wanted to know my world more than Tolkien did. And this is what happens. Wow. This is what happens.
And this is just that one small kind of continent piece, right? Yeah. So not even.
It's that.
Yeah.
So
not quite an island, like a little peninsula, probably.
Yeah. Yep. And then right up next to so as you see, we have names for a lot of things, but not for this stuff. Like the names of the rivers, the names of the areas, the names of these. I got these little outposts stuck up here. They've got to be there. They have to be there for population to work. On the terrain for this world to be inhabited, there has to be more civilizations. Or, like towns and stuff. We had the main ones figured out. We had the overarching regions, but we don't have name of rivers or lakes. Or take this one, for example. We left all of the archipelagos just blank, which, nope, not good. Archipelagos are fun to play with, story-wise and everything. Yeah. But
you should have some pirates.
Oh, Kenton's in here. Cool. All right. Yeah. So now he's yeah. Laptop isn't here. Make it difficult to join in. You can't join in unless I send you the message. That's probably what it is. So we'll try here. But so what I was talking about was a battle, and so we have this large lake, right in the middle here. And you have land here and you have land here. So forces are going to have to be able to work and use the land to help protect them. So I'm already seeing that. So I've got to go back into some history books and find anywhere. So really I got to look at geography and look at our own Earth maps and look up anywhere on Earth that might resemble this circumstance. So you're going to try to defend this land and this land. You're using the water to funnel your enemy through. So I got to figure out where in history a very similar scenario has happened.
I'd be on the island.
Out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, just right there. I mean, they got boats. They can cross water. It's just if you're dealing with
that's a heck of a moat.
Yeah, you're kind of out there all by yourself, aren't you?
Yeah. Be like that one in Badlands.
Well, guys, there's a new location I gotta make, and I guess a sister like
sure.
Huh, interesting. Oh, look, I need to put a lighthouse or something over here.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it should be. I would think more like what the vessels that you've got flying.
Yeah, they just don't fly though. They swim too.
But I would almost loadinize it if you could. That'd be cool. The lighthouse.
Oh yeah, light sources definitely are a thing. So, with loading. So, yeah, like we got lakes and stuff. We also have found these spires. Looks like these just mounds that pop up, right? So in Lord of the Rings, you would notice that they light the beacons to communicate across the way.
Right, for long distance.
Yeah. So I'm thinking these are ancient beacons. And you could see them there, here. I just set the marker on one. You got one here. So as long as, and that goes basically all the way up. You see one here. And then by that time, you're actually on a mountain ridge. So everything on the left here is much higher than it is on the right. But yeah, so guys, tell me I'm crazy.
That water's awful brown.
That's just blank water. I actually took the water out of the original map.
Yeah, that looks pretty nasty.
Well, I've got all this printed out. I've been doing a lot of this on. I'm not trying to print it. So
I wouldn't drink that.
So I've got towns to figure out too. So I was basically just thinking,
right.
For tonight, I was just gonna do something like the Skyrim on the Amazon thing. If you tell Amazon, hey, play Skyrim, it's just voice controlled and it's very direct. It's not very fancy or anything. So I want to try to avoid a town, trying to avoid making a farm or anything. So anywhere that's got a blue dot, I don't want to stick this marker and do a picture on. But so everyone can get an idea of how I'm wanting this to work, because I want everyone's input if they can and think this is interesting. I want to find any point, and do a concept piece on it.
I like the red rocks down in the south. I think that would be cool, and point it down the valley. Yeah.
Okay.
Or even turn it east. Down, no, yep, east, yeah. You got the waterways coming through, and the where it meets in the back.
Yeah, I actually like your other one. A little bit better for tonight. So, because I want something with elevation.
Okay.
Being right there. I'm with you with the river, so let's pull that back a little bit.
I could do with that. Yeah.
Let's roll with that. Okay, so
now drag that little guy and drop him on there so we can get a street view. You got one of those?
That's what I have to draw. That's what we're drawing.
Just take the stick figure and just drop him on there, man. Google will do it.
That's what the green. Oh, what are you talking about? Yeah. Google didn't do that. I do want to try to hold on.
Cool,
okay, giggle your butt off. Hold on. So what I want to do is I want to take this map and make a topographical map off of it using color, because a lot of how it was generated was based off the same way. And then I can actually tell a simulator, apply this to a globe, and I can move around it. And it will use all that texture as ups and downs. So I could actually then literally take a camera, drop it in, and get a base for the composition to draw on top of. That's cheating. This was something that I wanted. This is something that I wanted to do because of how many people know how to read and use topographical maps.
It's been a little while, but yeah, I've played around with them.
How often do you think you get a chance to do something like this with what you learn from them?
Who knows?
Right.
Go for it.
So, what's up, Cronopano? How you doing, dude? You were in the dojo tonight? You were on art, bros. You've been missing out. Instead, you've been PSAing anti-crack pack. You got enough time to sit there and dance with Bancroft, but you can't dance with your buddy on Wednesdays. I see how
that's messed up.
That's messed up.
I wasn't invited.
No.
All right. So you gonna get started or what?
Well, I don't know. I might just be building white bricks and erasing it. Yes, that's what I'm doing.
If you're building white bricks, you're doing a really good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's how we work.
It's a boat. No. It's a bird.
Sometimes. Sometimes you just got to be Kim Jong-un. Just sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes.
Oh, you're such a pain. Hey, here, wait a minute. Hey, where's my button to kick you off here?
You don't have one.
I'm noticing that.
You got to start your own channel.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Be the antithesis of this one. Joan, Texas. Who's Joan, Texas? Welcome, sir. I meet Russian singles. No, this is not where you meet Russian singles unless you're talking about Joe Catapano. He's not really Russian, though, but he looks like it. Let's play Pictionary. If you're talking about Russian singles, I'd hate to play Pictionary with you, bud. Not quite too sure what you mean. How'd you find us? John, Texas. You know, it's interesting. What a way to break the ice. Do you even know where you're at, mate? Obviously, I don't, because I just used the word mate, and I'm in America. Oh, word. Okay, sorry. We get a lot of weird guys around here, so we don't know who the hell's who. So,
yep.
You know. So, welcome, John. I'm glad you're here. Actually, now that I know who the heck you are, that was just some, yeah, didn't know how to respond to that very much. Sorry about that, buddy. So, yeah, like we were saying, we're trying to get some rivers, Pat, or Dwight was suggesting these rivers. So, if you saw, I've got these mountain ridges.
I see that.
But, so in our cone, we don't really have mountain ridges in the foreground, right? This is more kind of a, oh, no, you're cool, John. Like, forgive me my oomph. I kind of like to keep people straight if I don't recognize them. So, welcome to the thing. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, so we got these rivers coming down in here. I drew these mountains on the foreground. I shouldn't have if I'm going to pop the rivers here, but I do have these ridges popping up. So far off to this corner, we're starting to see, you know, the rise, the elevation is starting to happen around there. You guys see my marker here?
Yep.
So you can see a little bit of elevation starting to happen the further we go back. And in the back, so actually quite directly back, so a bit more center, we've got the big mountain. So a cool way to kind of show that a bit better and to take curvature into consideration. Remember, we're not flat earthers. We're going to bring that peak just down a little bit, and its actual base sets below our curvature a bit. But we'd still be seeing a bunch of rise happening before all that. So let's see. So also off on this side, like I said, we got this little peak here. It seems like it's poking up a little bit more than other things. A little bit flat topped on the bit. Kind of curves up, and there's this plateau just, on top of it. So seems like you got to kind of round some stuff out just a little bit as it graduates down. And we can get our rivers back in here. And I got that kind of rounded out. River kind of bends inward and then almost meets here, hops, and starts to branch out. So our first branch actually goes into this direction. So we got to wipe that across. And that's that going in. Then this one's got to kind of like Mario falling down a hole. So we've got our breacher rivers. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because the green can either be red. Oh, D houses up. What's up, buddy? Fractal Friday. By the way, guys, D is an artist, and he's got a very awesome comic series that he makes. His artwork it reminds me of Math Blaster. Do you remember ever playing that on the PC? Like when we were kids, it was an educational game, but it really cool stuff, really clean stuff. Go check him out, guys. He's on Instagrams. That's where a lot of the stuff is posted. So check him out. Welcome, D. Welcome. By the way, bro, your coin's on the way. And Kenton, your coin's on the way. And Joe, your coin's on the way. And Dwight, your coin's on. We got coins. We got coins. We got more coins than Mario.
I was waiting for you to do a woo.
Woo! Woo! So I'm moving that composition down just a little bit because those rivers being so high up, unless I do something right here in the foreground, I feel like I'm cheating by lowering it, but the composition gets a bit more interesting because we get a little bit more sky.
Yeah,
yay!
So. I like that.
But the cheap way to do. Oh, hold on. Kenton says so. He's working on a map right now. And he just put a new layer over with a bevel and emboss layer style, mainly transparent. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, there you guys go. Read that. But yeah. So the easy way to play with this, but is to just add like shrubbery in front.
What's a shrubbery?
Like a plant.
Oh, something not too fancy, but something nice.
Fancy. Something nice. Exactly. The other thing is, like I was saying, is green. Is this open field or are there trees? I like the open field, like Minas Tirith from, Return of the King. There was this grand open field as this, kingdom stood in the back. And that's what I'm kind of getting off of this. So I love how the rivers break through, because even in Minas Tirith, off on they had rivers that broke the field, and on this side they had Minas Morgul, or hold on, Osgiliath. Sorry, had that wrong. And that's, that was a big tactical advantage for whoever attained it, whether it be Mordor or Minas Tirith. So I love thinking about this as an open field. So I like this because that's an epic battle scene.
That'll be cool.
But nothing in the foreground. No, you know what? Fine, nothing in the foreground. I'm going to play with that. That makes it easier.
No, there should be some shrubbery.
No shrubbery. We'll put some shrubbery in the background. How about that?
Okay, fine.
Okay. So that mountain right there.
At least
exactly.
At least
Go
one
ahead.
night.
At least one night. See,
Yeah.
that's where I did. So these concept pieces are really my idea is to do just landscapes like a Bob Ross.
Yeah.
And then come back to them later when I do the other overlay of the world building. And this is all territories that had to have been argued over and stuff. So I got to come back over and probably add some stuff.
They're the Knights of Thal, and they need a shrubbery.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put we'll see if I put a special shrubbery here that they want. Then that's like the white tree in Minas Tirith. You know, that was in Lord of the Rings. So there you go. See how easy it is?
Oh yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys. So we got
still funny.
Yeah, still funny.
Yeah, it's funny because that's not my name.
All right, Turd Ferguson.
All right.
That's when SNL was good.
You may continue. Those honest were my favorite, man. Those made me
the Chevy Chase years.
Those made me laugh, man. Those Jeopardy episodes were the best.
I'll take anal bum cover for $600. That's album cover.
An album cover. Oh man. We still toss those around at work here and there. But no, man, that looks good.
Oh, thanks, Dwight.
It looks like I took that little stick figure and dropped him down, and there it is.
So yeah, guys, it's probably a good thing Dwight lives in another state than me. I'd get nothing done.
Oh, you'd get a lot of creativity is what you'd get.
I guess that's one way to say it.
Oh yeah.
All right. So he's been awesome.
I sure would have got my coin faster.
That's true. You would have. Can't argue that one.
That's a slick move. There you go. Clouds. Yeah. It almost looked like had cloud cover. Yeah.
Now I'm just trying to get some sort of gradient on the field while I just plot in some solids. You know, you've plotted solids. You probably plotted solids this morning.
Oh, just a little bit. My stomach wasn't feeling too great.
So what Bubba's problem is, he's not plopping solids. Chicken rice. Or I didn't make him chicken because he doesn't into the chicken. But I made some rice, pumpkin, peas.
Yeah.
You know, that seemed to do the trick.
Make it simple.
Yeah, that did the trick. It seemed.
That's nuts, man.
What's nuts?
Just scribbling and then turning it into something.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Art team, go! Oh, look at this. What's he doing? Oh, Kenton is showing map. Hold on. I got to bring you up, dude. How do I switch you over? Oh, there we go. Ah, cool. Oh, he's not talking. Hold on. Oh, he's self-muted himself. Okay, so he's showing this new map he's working on and these textures he's got rolling. Looks like breakfast.
Kind of looks like he threw up breakfast.
But it looks like alien terrain.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But see how the water runs up around his coastlines too?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Okay, see how detailed that was?
Sure.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
If I don't know if he's actually hiring or open for hire for developing fantasy maps, but there you go. Yeah. The technique, when he showed me where he got the idea from, it was nuts. It was really cool to see, and it all made sense too. It's I'm not going to give it away. You guys can search for it for yourselves. I've already mentioned it once, and I don't want to give it away. But it makes a lot of sense, and it fits the theme of what we're doing here. Or I guess it would fit the theme with anybody, really, that if you're going to be making a fantasy world, or an alien, just think about it like that, an alien world. The technique to derive these maps, it makes a lot of sense. It's actually quite tricky and cool. But like I said, I want to actually grab one of the steps into it, and I want to apply it all as a height map texture on a globe, and then try to basically just roll the globe around, zoom in, see.
That'd be neat.
And I can screenshot it and then bring it into Photoshop and then paint over top of it. And it's actually the landscape I'm just decorating, right?
Yeah.
And certain generators, you can load in plants, 3D models and stuff.
Well,
and it'll just go over it.
Unreal, man. You could actually make the map just a material and wrap it around the sphere, and then you got your globe. Yeah.
Now you're seeing what I'm seeing, right?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, that would make this a lot easier. If you get my point, because I would screenshot any space where we plot a camera down in that, and then I would and that's what I would paint on top of. So talk about but like I said, Dad taught me topographical map use, and that's what we're seeing from this vantage point, looking out conally.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. This is going to be fun to kind of play with, because now I've got the field of Sindevina, which I might want to name those something different. The red fields of Sindevina, the ninth layer or something like that. Something that sounds imposing, because lots of battles have been fought. I don't know.
That looks more like Twin Rivers of Sindevina to me.
There you go. See, always coming in with the more progressive ideas, Dwayne.
Well, I did graduate high school.
What was wrong with what I said?
I'm not.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. No, I didn't mean that.
I mean, I graduated from Shelby County. That ain't much to say. So,
well, and you graduated with all your teeth.
Yep. Yes, I did.
That's a plus.
Yeah, when you come from a place where the whole neighborhood just makes up one full set, yeah.
Sick. You got your graduation outfit and a spit cup.
Floss? What floss?
Okay, I got
All right.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep. Good.
Okay, cool. No, I had the bevel layer it was just for doing the mountains or whatever, so it was way too intense.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what that texture was then.
Yeah, now if I keep it still, it should focus on the stream, and be a lot, you can see the difference, so it's a little more realistic now, as opposed to all beveled up and photoshopped up. That layer was just for erasure, so you could do like these interesting mountain designs.
Yeah. That's what I think we were
But
saying was
it wasn't working though. I was trying to show you guys. If I turn it on now, it might work. Let me try to do it real quick. I found it on some site. The suggestion to do it this way. All right, let's see what happens. Okay.
Well, see, so on our side, your stream ability is pretty pixelated. So as much detail as you're wanting to throw or for us to see, we're not actually able to see quite a lot of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
We were there a minute ago, but it never really crisped up to like 1920 for us.
Gotcha. No big deal. I'll have to join up sometime where I can actually like pull it up on my screen.
Yeah.
So that you guys can see what I'm talking about, because it's pretty neat.
But you mess with Terrigen. You and me were messing with Terrigen way back in the day, and I wonder if we could send the topographical data of what helps generate these images, because if I'm, and then wrap it on a globe and find an area on the globe and screenshot that and just bring it in a Photoshop and concept art paint on top of it. Your perspectives will be perfect.
Yeah. And I was thinking the same thing. And I recently looked up Terrigen, and they've gotten pretty advanced. Now, as far as import abilities go, I didn't see anything in regards to that. But if you were to do that, I think what we would do is you would probably want to skip Terrigen altogether, and you would want to
find a new software. Yeah.
Well, you remember Wilbur. Wilbur is kind of how we did this map, right? You would do it probably in Wilbur, and then export that to something standard like 3ds Max or something, and then might be able to figure something out there, especially with a tutorial.
Well, me and Dwight were talking Unreal before we went live about it. So, I think we were talking about it on stream. Sorry. Yeah, it was basically
you just put a material wrap around a sphere. You got a globe.
You got it like that. But what I need is height and depth.
Oh, I get that, but I mean that would get you started.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's something I've been trying to figure out, because John Texas, my roommate, he does a lot of Dungeons and Dragons model painting and shaping and carving. He takes foam and cuts it and whatnot. And I was like, well, I want to do this with the map. Problem is, I need kind of a height map. I need this topographical thing.
Map.
Yeah, and it's been really difficult getting to that next step. I've upsized my map from like it's like an 8 gigabyte map or something now. It's huge. It's ridiculous. It takes up like the size of, it's like half a building now. But I don't know how to get a real legit topography on it. I'm getting there. It's getting really close.
I'm not the one that's going to be painting these guys, but I did paint a mini Star Circuit bike.
Oh yeah. Good.
I was testing it out. Like we were testing to see if it worked out. Everything worked out except for the wheels, because they're small. That is overall 2 inches square.
Just too
square
small.
Inch. 2 inches smaller than the real one. The real one's 6 inches. So it's like this.
Yeah.
This one was my test. This one was my test print. Thanks, Joe. You dick. But yeah,
I like what you got going on. Setting up the viewpoint and stuff before you do your terrain. So good idea.
It was just something that I remember, and I don't know why I hadn't thought about this before. We've had this map that detailed. Why didn't I use it like this? So the idea, guys, I'll be a little bit more detailed about that soon. Why this was an experiment, basically. I want to go forward with it because when we start talking about adding towns and adding the human element on top of this, then that's where I want you guys to have a part in this with help creating the world. Maybe you have a cool idea, or like, look at that little area over here. That's there would be a cool place for a meadery or a hut or something, you know, a weird guy or something like, or like downriver. And
what's a meadery?
A what?
What's a meadery?
A meadery. So like you brew mead, you make mead like like in Skyrim.
No. I thought you said a meatery, and I'm like,
oh,
isn't that a butcher shop?
That's another good idea. We can stick a butcher shop. So
like yeah, this is well, I mean, I guess you could call it a meadery on there. I mean, it's a different planet and all.
Yeah. But yeah, we can actually start filling up this basic concept art with more detail. The idea is that eventually these will be prints to purchase or do special giveaways. I've been prompted to look at Patreon and setting up a potential one for this whole project. A lot of people seem to have suggested that to me, and now I'm starting to listen. So yeah,
sounds like a good idea.
Like Collision Bomb says, guys, like and subscribe if you want to. To follow up, like I said, I want to do much more of this. I have a book. I have a comic to draw. Yes, but doing stuff like this always helps make it better. Because what I was telling a few other people, like, don't you have a comic to be drawing? It's like, yes, but it's a series, right? It's not just one. And if I can write the story from a wider perspective and narrow down instead of going from no ideas and going outward, I'm going to be able to do things like foreshadowing, really neat story ideas, switches, things that you didn't expect because I have a broader awareness of the world, you know, from the writing perspective, you know, from the story rather than going in and out. So, which is a good restaurant, you know, good fast food. Get it animal style, California, West Coast. Anyway, so yeah, I want to do more of these concept pieces, guys. So I want to push that a bit more. And if I start doing so this time I had to kind of explain it, went into it. About 20 minutes in is when we got started. So I could get a lot further with more ideas. And then the colors too. The colors aren't really excellent, but yeah, so that's what we're trying to figure out here. Yeah, guys, like and subscribe. I'm gonna say bye to all y'all. Collision Bomb, thank you. Dwight, thank you.
It's already time to go.
Dang. Yeah, Kenton, thank you, buddy. Thanks for showing up and showing us some of that stuff. Yeah,
thanks for having me. I'll try to get a clear shot for you next time.
Yeah. And you're always welcome to come here, especially while we're doing map stuff, dude. Always. Well, let's see. Joe, thanks for dropping in. You greasy man. And John, Texas, thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for coming in with Kenton. That's great to meet you. Sorry I was a little stubby there for a minute. What do we got? And Deb Olson, thank you. Bud, thank you so much. Reese, thank you. Noah, you're probably not even here anymore, kid. So
he probably jumped out.
Way on. But yeah, D House, thank you so much. I think he was the first one I said. If he wasn't, he should have been. Thank you guys very much for showing up. As Bud says, happy trails, everyone. We love you. Have a good night. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be like ending with the trailer. All right, guys, love you.
Glad it's Friday.
See you guys.
Friday. Have a safe weekend. Laters.
RJ.
You must engage the darkness. If you are going to regain the memories lost to you. You must stay strong.
A lone child's presence does not bode well for the circumstances.
No one can pass. And inquisitive. It will be difficult.
Oh, that's just perfect.
But try to remember. You are never alone.